Hi, back again. Today we want to make it a little harder. We want that house. It is a very simple house. And we want to optimize them, but not with front and back pictures of the house. This time we won't really make that by UV unwrap, a normal unwrap, not from view, and make it here with the UV. Then you will see there's difference, and that is the normal way we do that, not as I make it the times before. Good. We tried. I never done that with houses, so we tried it simply. Good. File, save as. That is next house. It is called next house 2. Optimize it. 1. Save as. You know that house. We built it together. So, at first we start like ever. We take the whole house, Shift D, and move them to another layer. Oh, not to this layer, to the third, please. Okay. Good. Now we only take that what we can handle. In this case, it is all what is with stone here. The wall. So we select wall, and that is the principle of the house. So that with P, separate the selection. Now it is singular. You see it? And now we move the house 1 to the side, so M to move to the 4th layer. There we have now the house to optimize them. That is all the same like before, but you will later see the difference between the methods. Good. Now we do our work. You see here normal errors. So mark all. UV recalculate normals. And you see that here is dark. That is because it isn't absolute correctly. So that means we must look the whole front and check if they have the same y factor axis. So scale y 0. Now that is the way, and this arrow is gone. Good. So we done that. Now we want to optimize, so that can go. That. Okay, X. Dissolve edges. Wow. Control Z, one back. So we let that stand in a moment. It disappears. Why it disappears? That is a very mystery in the moment. Okay. So we dissolve that. When we dissolve that, it disappeared. Okay. Then we let it. So we try here some like that before. That's very mysterious. Yep. Okay, but it is like it is. So we don't care about. But here we can dissolve them, I hope. Yeah. And this one. Yeah. We are so good. Here the back, that must all go. Yes. And on the bottom we don't need anything. So that is the minimum word count for that house. Oh, here we can get one out. Dissolve. So that is the minimum word count for this house. It is 65. That is very, very, very good. File, save. We also can close here the roof because there's nothing special to get attention for. So F to close that and F to close that. Done. File, save. Good. And here the whole party starts. We make now a new UV picture. So new. We call it UV map for next house 2. Next house 2. And it should have 2048 resolution. 2048. Why we do this? Because when you look at the other method that I made, each the front takes 1024, the back, the right, and the left, and all together is this resolution. But this time we don't make pictures from each side. We take that. So we click here at OK. We now have this picture done, but you see the little star here by image, so we have to save them before. Image, save as image. We can let the name be like it is, but we go here to an JPEG. Quality should be 100 and it should be RGB with a relative path. We save that in our next house folder. So on this UV we must place now all things that are in this house on this map and must place them where they should be, because we want to bake that later. That is the difference. And to have a good unwrap, you maybe know that we need a good mark seam. When we now hit here U and click unwrap, that is what we got, and that you can't render. That is not good. So first is object, apply rotation scale. Then we recalculate again. Good. Then when we now try it again, you unwrap, it looks so shitty too. Why it looks so crappy? Because we don't mark seams where he should cut off this 3D object to make it as a 2D object. So we must mark seams. That means we must click here UV mark seams by UV shading and make all that we want to see on our UV as singular objects. We must make there some red lines for. So we have marked the complete front. When we now unwrap, the front is there and the rest is creepy. You should make it from the front. Don't know why it is so blurred and something else there. I think because the windows are not really cut out. So we have sure to make here the inner parts all mark seamed. So, and again, we render and look what is different. You see, the windows inside stuff, this deeper part in the window, that are here now at singular object. Only that one not. Because we have forgotten here one to mark seam. This little thing make the difference. Where we see now, he puts that on this part 2. So you unwrap. And like I said, now they are there and that is there. Good. So it goes on. That is not really good like it is. So we better want that other way. So we mark the whole back side and mark them seam 2. Here is some creepy stuff there. So we scale wise 0. Oh, it's English. Must be German for me. Scale wise 0. So now we can mark seam them 2, that here 2, and that one 2. Also don't forget here the inner part. To mark seam. Now we look what we got. A to select all, and you unwrap. What is better than before? That is a little better than before, but not real good. So we go first on with that what we made there. So the roof should be singular, so we mark them around with mark seams. When we now render again, you see completely other thing. He has here the roof tiles disposed, then the completely other stuff is there, but it's all not really cutted like it should. So we have to make there some cutters more. We have to cut here down, because that is one face that we want to have here. Then here, there. Simply everything. So now again you unwrap, and we see this. Here are the 2 walls now. Here that wall, the 2 roof things, the front, the sides, and back side, and windows. So we now try again mesh. Object, apply rotation scale, then I try tools, recalculate, tools, remove doubles, 0, that's good, mesh, delete, no, what was it, clean up, clear, no, that's all the other way. Okay, forget it. So set origin to geometry and file save. So another unwrap. Try. That is creepy, and I not really know why that is. So I can, for me it's logical that it is with this shit here that makes it awful, but I'm not sure. So we simply try some. We kill them So delete edges. Wow. Then we take here all this stuff. Wow, there are different things. So we mark all this stuff. Now we want to close that front face. And that you can only make with holding Alt key on Alt key on the numpad and then press F. Then he closed it. But you see, then we have much triangles in there. That's not the best, but I think when we now unwrap, it have a clear front and it has. But we don't want so much. That is the point. How we can do it with less. So Control Z, we go back. So we try some other. Don't know exactly. Yeah. It's all very bad. Really. I delete that here too. Delete this edge. And delete this edge. Then I close that here. And that here is all not good. So close that before. Give here an Maxime. Then here we need now one word, two words. So at first we search the words. So we take here word selection. Maybe bring one there. So we look from the front that we are at the same height as this one. Now we need here a word 2. So we click that line and say here subdivide. Now we have word there and we can bring them up. So now we have two words here, two words here. We close that line. So that line and that line, F to close. Then this and this edge we close with F. Now we can close that with them with F and that with them with F. Then we have that here we can close and that we can close. Wow, here is something wrong. So we go back, Control Z, and look the words. Here's one word too much, so eggs, dissolve words. Now we take them and then have to close. Good. So at next we need here two words. So we get the line, subdivide 1 and 2 times. The first one from front, it's correct. The other one here must be deeper, so it must be there. Now we can close here that one and this one. So we look more. We need one here. That one we don't need, so dissolve vertices. But we see when we want to close there, we normally need there one, but we will see. F to close that. Now we have to do here the same as on the other side, so we place one there. Then we take here the edge and subdivide 2 times. get here back to word selection, go here higher and close this face. Then we bring up them here and close this face. And go up with them and close this face. So we only miss here one word, so we get in subdivide one time. Now we have the word there. We can now close that, and we can close the whole front. So the only thing we have to do is to close it here too, but not the back side, I don't want. So that's all I have to close. So now we try another unwrap. You unwrap. It's better, but that is creepy too. Don't know exactly why. We try here to make a cut between. So we try to make here a mark seam in the edges. So you unwrap. That looks better. That is what we want. That here are the windows, the roof sides, the front. That is a good unwrap. When you go there to front, you see they are not over the other. They have small pieces between. That's the margin called. So now we try to close it here. I don't know what he makes there. Then when we try that, if he unwrapped that correctly or not, we will try. So A to select all, you unwrap. Yeah, that is perfectly unwrap. File, save. Now we can bake there all things on. That is no problem. But when you look here, because of the other unwrap, all materials have another size, other materials, and so on, all gone. You have to do that new. But the second thing is, that is not all from the house, and on this picture must all stuff come there as a UV. So when we look at the first layer, at the third layer, that all must be done the same way and put it into pieces, and that all comes together in one picture. So that here is only plane, so that's no problem. P, separate the selection. M, to move to the fifth layer. You go to the fifth layer, and we have to mark seam that. So mark seam, and we join them together, and when we now unwrap, you see here is the new one that we built there. So all must come together. I hope you understand what I mean. Good. Back to first layer. Back to third layer. We now try it with the roof itself we have done. So we can delete this stuff. So that is the rest we have to do. There are many things. You don't believe it, but I know it. And it is horrible. I hate it. Good. So we have that window wood, it would be called. We select that are all the windows. So we P, separate the selection, and move them to the 5th layer. We go to the 5th layer, and these windows must now be shown here in completely perfection. So how to do such? Not so easy, but we can do it. We must make the same. We have to mark C. So F to close here first, and then we delete what we don't need, that is here the way to. So X, dissolve edges, this edges too. We don't need some on the back side because nobody will see them, so we can delete here the edges, so we open it up there. Here's the same, that we can dissolve, that we can dissolve, and here on the back, this both we must delete, because we don't want to see them there. They are not there, and that is a word, and I don't want to spend words for nothing. So I dissolve edge here, or dissolve words, and can then get here F to close. But here is one edge standard. Sorry for that funny shit there. I go back. So first we close that maybe. Try that is one. And that here must be dissolve edge. Yeah, now it works. Okay. The same as here, that one. We go more down, what we see there. It is nearly the same. That one should be dissolved, and that one. I see now only shit happens. We must first find out what we need there and what not. That X, delete edges. Delete edges. Now it is open. And now you see they are not combined there. So you have to go there and merge them together. So we take that first and then last. So merge at last. And here same, merge at last. Now that is one. We try what is here. It's lose one. That's not good. So we have first to make here a word in. So we take that down line, subdivide them one time, get here this singular word, bring them there. Now we have to cut through there, knife from there to there. You don't cut that. Okay, funny stuff. So we go on. Here that we dissolve. That we can't dissolve because it is not correct done here. So we take this top line and subdivide them. Get here the singular word that we have now. And bring them here to the point. And merge them both together. merge at center, and now we can dissolve them. But before, we must cut from there to there. And now we should really can dissolve them. Yes, it is true. My dreams come true. But they are not, because it is not closed here. But first we go here on. So dissolve edge, dissolve edge, dissolve edge, dissolve edge here. There is nothing. That is good. Here we must close that down part there. Here F to close. Now we should yeah, we should. I try to remove that word, dissolve that word. You see it crashes, but that is not so bad, because we can do it here too, dissolve word, and then we can make a new connection there, F to close. But what is that? Good. We go here and recalculate the normals and check what is there. X, delete edges. Here we have some mystery stripe there. Don't know from what it comes. So I delete this edge too. And then I try new. Close that one. And close that one. Wonderful. Then we close that one. And perfectly. The other one we can delete X, delete edge, then we can F to close them here. So maybe, but you don't want to dissolve them. Okay, so we let them like it is there. So this one is okay, the rest not. And that means we select that, only that, and P separate the selection. So now we have it here, and we move it to the 6th layer. So M to move on the 6th layer. That we have done. Now we need good unwrap for that. In this case, we go there, mark all, and mark seam. So all is mark seamed. And we now A UV unwrap. And you see all is correctly unwrapped. But it is much too big, because the whole house has there some places. So we have to scale them down and bring them to a position where it can stand. That is only a window. So it has to be small and plug maybe there or so. We have to give them a correct name. So rename it is window outer wood. Good. So we have that. We go back to the 5th layer. That is left. That we must do too. You imagine what I mean. It's very hard. Sure, you can simply mark here all and mark them seam. But then we have here cutters from the texture layer, and that looks very creepy. It can't be. So we have to do here this dissolving and all this stuff. That must be. And you see, normally that is no problem. Click there and dissolve that. So that is cleaned. Here we have to clean, so that, and that are needed. Here, that one. All are needed. You see what I make there. I simply try what he let and what not. And so we fight against this shit there. We don't get all here, see that? But we try. So we have a minimum of words down there. Normally you would go here and cut it there too. So you take your knife, and go a knife, and go from here to there, cut that through. Then you can dissolve them and you have a clean topology. That is the way to do such. And here the way is to cut here and get that away. So knife from there to there, cut with space, and then you can dissolve that so that you get clean topology. But it is much work. I don't know you want to invest so much time. I don't know. Here words, they are loose, so we dissolve them. So that is done. The whole back part we don't need, so we can there delete the vertex. Then we can close up here the normally front with F, and this we should dissolve. Good, that one is clean. That here is like it is. You can cut here through, that is the better way. So knife, cut from there to there, and that it looks similar from there to there, and then you can dissolve them. Good, so I have here more clean resolution of that. Here it is completely true, that's true. Completely. Here we have that problem with them here too. Yeah, we don't get a cut there. So we cut here with the knife from there to there, cut. And from there to there, cut. Good. We have done that. Now we go to the back side of them, and there all should be open, because there are faces that we don't need. We have their faces 1700 and we don't need them. And you don't see them. So because of that, we can delete them here, and then you open up the front, the back. So simply get them and delete them. You don't must do that when you directly model perfectly. Then you don't need to do that, yeah. But who cares about that when you are building and building and building? Then you don't want to stop, and that is because that happens. That should go fast, but in the back time you have more work to clean that up. What makes you first faster? So we nearly that we can unwrap that. Here we have to close the down part there. Have to close. So that is a window like it should look. Now we take it complete. You see that isn't the same as that one. They are singular and the other not. Not the best way to do such. Good. Now we UV mark seam that all. And now we must get attention that we don't get here stripes in where we don't want some. Good, but we'll add it in a moment. See here too. That I don't need it. So dissolve them. Here too. Good. Now we have that. We unwrap that. And what do you see? One is clearly to see, and the other one looks creepy like that. That is the difference between that and that. Clear mesh, bad mesh. And all the others will be so too. So, what we simply do is we place it over there. That means we mark them. B to select them here. We Shift D, double them. And bring him there. Bring it a little in front. Wow, what's that? We deleted. Here's some mystery things going on. That is unneeded. Here, this word and this word. These are all words. Here too. Yeah, you must look everything. You forgot one, you have problems. It's really shit. but what you will do, it is like it is. Good. Again. So with background selection and word selection and border selection, we take now that whole thing there, Shift D, and place it over the other. Then we bring it more in front that we can delete the other one, the unperfectional one. But the other windows disturb me there. So we have to put them all away to the back. Such fucking shit there, one word. So go back. Thanks a lot. So we look now from the top. That is our optimized one and that is the bad one. So we now take here the bad one, X, and delete them. Take the other one and bring them by this side. Good. We now have here the optimized part. We now go here and take only the optimized things. And select inverse, all others should be marked, X, and delete them. So we only have the optimized thing, nothing more. Then object, apply rotation scale, set origin to geometry, mark all, recalculate the normals, tools, remove doubles, mesh, clean up, delete looses. All fine. Good. So we move them to the 6th layer 2, so M to move 0.6. So now we have the combination of both in optimized version, so we can join them together as one. And when we now object, apply rotation scale, set origin to geometry, get here an unwrap, then we have a nearly clear one. There is some errors in somewhere, I don't know where, but they are there. But it is a clearer unwrap than the other. Because of that, that is the way to get this window in a correct unwrap. So we can bring them there maybe. And each window needs the same texture. So we don't need the 1000 windows in the unwrap because they are all the same. Good. So file, save. And when we now move them to our 4th layer, M 4th layer. So we have the house and one of the windows there. And when we now join that together, and then make an unwrap, he placed that into there where is enough space. He sort that automatically. So that is in the whole graphic now. So we can make it with all the window stuff there. To plug them in. Shift D, place one there. Shift D, place one there. That's it. So we can now join that all together. Yes. And when we now unwrap, you see that all the windows are within. And you see, as more as we get, as smaller are the part of this window that you use for. And that makes the quality of the texture as smaller the part of the texture as unsharper the texture that are on. And there are many tools to see the difference between them from the size. But that is another thing. But I will show you that next time, I think. So, good. I moved that here to the 10 layer. Then file, save as, optimized to. Now, what we have also, first layer. Third layer, sorry. So, one of these houses where the windows are in. Must be completely correctly unwrapped and optimized. Not as easy as you think. You see here what all is there. That is all too much. So we get one. This one. And P to separate the selection. Then get this one completely. Move it to the 6th layer. We go to the 6th layer. What we see there? Thousands of unneeded stuff. So at first we sort them all. We have here the stone materials and the roof tiles, and we want first the roof tiles, so we select them. That is only the base mesh of the roof tile. That is nearly good, but not completely. So we move that to the 7th layer, but before we must separate the selection. Then get them, move to the 7th layer. So we add the 7th layer now here. Go in edit mode and we see that here isn't needed. So X dissolve this edge. We will never see the end here. So you can delete that edge. That is the real base mesh. That is okay. He must be unwrapped too, so we can say here mark seam complete, but no, we can let it, completely. See it here, that's the unwrap. When we now go here and say apply rotation scale and then you unwrap, then we have that, and that is a simply clear unwrap with space between. That is perfect, the margin. So that is optimized, so we can move that to our place where we want to have it. It is the 4th layer. So here the 4th layer, that is now put it on there too. We can now join that together as one, and when we now unwrap again, you see it is put it there. And so we go on and on to build this whole house. Then we can bake that whole structure there. Then we have all textures correctly there. So next, on the sixth layer, we can search for what we want. We say stone 3. Stone 3, select. There are that ones. We P separate the selection. Then we move them to the 7th layer. We go to the 7th layer and we see what we get. That here is absolutely unneeded, so we simply delete them completely. Then we see all this stuff here is beveled. That's good for the look, bad for the bird count. So we simply take here the front and the back faces of each one. So that we P separate the selection. So we only have that left. Can delete the other one. So that only stands there. That are now 16 and then before 200. And that's the way. Now we can spacebar, search, bridge, edge loops, and then you can close them. That is then the minimum for this stage of details. Normally you don't make them singular each stone, you make one of them. Okay, but you will understand that all later. So mark seam that all, and we have to apply the rotation scale again. Then that was the unwrap before. When we now unwrap clean meshes. Only that a little bit tweaky, creepy. Don't know exactly why, but who cares? Okay, so that thing is optimized. Set origin to geometry and move it to the 4th layer. 4th layer. We have 1700, is many too much, but that is the way. So we join that all together. We now unwrap. You see where he puts the new stuff on. There, he puts that on. So we have only that stones there. The textures are all creepy. Much to do. File, save. 6th layer. We take the stone 4 material. Stone 4, select. P to separate the selection. M to move it to the 7th layer. Go to the 7th layer. Only mark front and back face. P to separate the selection. The rest we can delete. Only that left. And bridge edge loops. Oh, not so. Step by step. Yeah, that's it in general. That are the stages of quality that is in game. So when you are near to an object, you will have a high poly object that you see, oh wow, That looks really good. But when you see it from the distance, you don't need here a bevel or some, you can't see that. So there are low poly models, middle poly objects, and high poly objects. And that is the low poly object that we built. And that what we had before is a high poly model. So, but we need this stage and the other stage. Good. So we have to object apply rotation scale. We have to mark seam that completely all, and you unwrap that better. So we move that to the fourth layer too. Fourth layer. So we join that all together. Go here to solid mode. That looks not so bad. Bad enough, but not so bad. So select all and go to edit mode, select all, recalculate. So that is better. Good. Then we go to next. Fifth layer. We have that left. And we have to do it. So there is stone 2 material. So we select them, stone 2, that is that one. So we have to separate the selection. We have to move them to the 7th layer. Go to the 7th layer. There is class mid in, that is not good. So we move them back. So we separate the selection and then move them back to the 6th layer. So that we want to optimize. You see what we have here, much of shit. And I stop at this part, get a drink, and then I'll make the next part, and then we see us again. So save. Thanks a lot, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye.